a bucket, a bed, and a camera. And let's just say, for kink's sake, a hammer. Sounds like a good time. Hey, top of the morning. So, I recently did a poll, and it was, should I review The Barbarian or The Exorcist Believer? And it was a very, very close, very close choice. But Barbarian won, so here we are with the video. But because it's so close, I'm going to review also The Exorcist Believer over this weekend. I'll have that up. So I'll have that posted up here on the channel over the weekend. So look out for that. And I will also be reviewing the new horror movie. It's in cinemas at the moment. It's called The Watchers. It was filmed in Ireland. So yeah, so that's two reviews apart from this one. That'll be coming up over this weekend. So, stay tuned if you're interested in any of those. So, that being said, The Barbarian. I never watched any trailers for this movie. I didn't really do much research on it because I don't tend to watch trailers anymore because they give way too much away. So, I tend to avoid. I'd rather go in blind. So that's what I did. I read like a brief summary. Thankfully, the description didn't give it away. It just said, two strangers in the same cabin that they're both renting out. That's as far as I got. So my initial thought was that this was going to be a movie where Bill Skarsgard's character, Keith, was going to be a secret serial killer or something. That was my first assumption because I didn't know where the fuck this was going to go. So, yeah, I genuinely had no idea where it was going. So I thought that's what it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like, because there were funny moments, like he was awkward and hesitating and opening the wine, and after they changed the mattress in the bed, like he sort of just stood there, like, all awkwardly, and then like doors slamming and stuff. And at the time, you only think, well, it's only them two there, so it's bound to be him, right? No, because this movie takes a huge fucking left turn, and you find out that down in the basement there is a secret door, and what's in that secret door is a room, and this room has a bed, a really dirty, literally bloodied bed, a bucket, and a camera. So it sort of leaves it to your imagination. What the fuck's this for? Who is using it? And why? Which all gets revealed later on in the movie. So just a heads up, there will be spoilers in this review. If you don't want anything being spoiled, if you want to go watch the movie and then come back here, then yeah, you're more than welcome. So Keith goes missing, and it's after the main character, she goes to an interview, and it's a job interview for filmmaking, and even the interviewer gets really concerned because she asks, where are you staying? And tells her what estate that she's currently staying in, which is apparently dangerous and it's known to be a rough, really bad area. So even the interviewer was concerned about her well-being, And there's this really creepy scene that whenever she gets back from the interview and gets back to the house and she tries to get in, you see a man in the background running towards her, which I thought was a really cool shot. And obviously she manages to get in, lock the door, And that was a great scene. So yeah, Keith goes missing. She goes down and notices there's a door. Oh, so she pulls this rope and it opens the door. And she goes in. After seeing the room, she freaks the fuck out. And yeah, so she goes down again, and it leads into this, like, what way can I put it? It's like, not like a cave, but like an underground, like, fucking bunker. And it has, like, cells and everything. It's got cages. dare I ask? And so she finds Keith, and Keith is hiding, and he's telling her to get down, and it's here. And then suddenly we're introduced to this monstrosity of a creature thing, and it appears and literally bashes Keith's head in. So he did. And she runs. Good idea. And then, of course, later on, we realize what that creature is later on. So there's that. And then suddenly we're flashed and met with a brand new character, which confused me and threw me off a little bit in the beginning. But, which is Justin Long's character, AJ. And then he's all happy in his car, he's listening to music and singing and shit. And then he gets a phone call from his agent, basically saying that a woman has accused him of sexual misconduct and harassment. So he goes from happy to in like 1 minute. But I'm not laughing because of the sexual thing. No, just the way his character just went from that to that. But yeah, so don't get that twisted. So he's trying to figure he's freaking the fuck out because he knows he's gonna go bankrupt. And and at the start you're unsure, you're like, is he innocent? I mean, is he? Should we feel sorry for him? Maybe he's being accused in the wrong, because that can happen. And you don't know what to feel about him, because he seems kind of genuine. He's not giving off any like dickhead vibes. Until it's confirmed. Yes, this guy is a scumbag. He's in the club. His friend comes up to him and he says, "Listen, I heard all about the whole thing with, the girl. Is it true?" And he said, "I'm going to be honest with you. We did fuck, but it took a lot of convincing to do it. Let's just say that." In other words, he pressurized her into sleeping with him, which is a form of sexual harassment, or somebody can say rape. So, not cool. So, instantly you hate this character, and you're like, fuck, I hope this guy gets killed. Oh. And then they pull this little, like, redeeming arc with him throughout the movie, which I was like, how can you even get close to redeeming that? Like, what the fuck are you trying to do, movie? And again, takes a big nosedive where he goes to the house, and the house that Keith and I can't remember her name, forgive me, but the other protagonist, and turns out it was his house, or at least one of them. And he goes there, and it makes you think: is he behind it? Is that bed and the bucket and the camera, are they his? Does he know everything? But it turns out he doesn't know anything. He's doesn't understand. He finds the door as well, and he's like, "What the fuck's this?" So, he goes in, and the creature. I did enjoy this scene though. Knowing what a scumbag he is, I enjoyed this scene where creature, or the lady who's been living there for 40 years, and it is revealed that this isn't a creature, it's not a monster. It is a woman who's been living there for 40 years that is a product of repeated incest, inbreeding, by some sicko who was taking women down into the house, who was the previous owner, the original owner of the house, before AJ bought it. and he was taking women down, and he was, doing stuff, and so yeah, that is the product of multiple incestual acts. So turns out that her psychology is if you stay calm and you relax, you don't panic, you don't freak the fuck out, she won't kill you. She just sort of wants to be a mother, and take whoever's there and rock him like she takes AJ, drags his ass up and forcefully breastfeeds him, which is a fucking weird scene. You get this big moldy ass fucking tit, and he's just like freaking the fuck out, like understandably. But again, I was like, yeah, you fucking deserve it. Yeah. So it was great to see, but it was nasty to watch. But so yeah, he eventually gets away, and yeah, I mean, oh no, what was it? Yeah, so yeah, you stay calm, she won't kill you. But if you freak out, she will kill you. That's the psychology, you know. So they eventually get out. AJ manages to get out, and they manage to get out of the house. And we see the guy who was running from earlier, which is the homeless guy. But yeah, there was a homeless guy, and the reason he was chasing after her earlier in the movie that we saw in the background was to warn her to stay out of that house. There's something in that fucking house. You don't want to mess with that. So that makes sense. And this is where AJ's character goes from redeeming, which I don't understand why that was. Either way, so yeah, takes a nosedive to save his own skin. They're up on the roof. He grabs the other protagonist, the woman, and sacrifices her to save his own ass. Which I thought it was not funny, but I mean funny. Like he was like, I want to be a better person. I, I know I can do good. I know I made mistakes. And then about 10 minutes later, here, take her instead. And he runs. It was funny. It was like, dude, like, did you mean any of that? Well, he's such a slime ball, and thankfully he does get killed. So yeah, perfect karma. So the girl jumps down the incestual lady, jumps down after her to basically save her. Again, it's that mother instinct that I have to protect my child. So she jumps down while she's falling and, tries to cushion the blow of the impact. And, in the end, she basically shoots herself because the protagonist told her to, which makes sense. I mean, she did kill the homeless guy as well, which was a really creepy scene. That actually did make me jump. Where they're in the little house before the roof, and they're around a little campfire, and they're talking about like, no, the woman, she never leaves that house. Oh, she ain't never been in here. And then suddenly she just like busts through the back wall, like Jason Voorhees style. Gets him, kills his ass, so they run, and that's what leads to the roof scene. So she shoots herself, and yeah, it's like I said, it's a movie that has a lot in it. It's not just one simple little story. It throws so many ideas into it, but I think it balances pretty well. Because there's a guy who we see later on that was actually still living in it. The previous owner, the original owner, that was doing all the inbreeding. But he's old, he's withered, he's lying in bed, he can't do anything, he can barely talk. I don't think he actually can talk. And he reaches for the gun, which AJ gives him, and he just shoots himself and, takes the easy way out. So, yeah, overall, the movie, as I said, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a psychological and just a movie about a guy and a girl both in the house, and the guy's a psychopath and tries to kill her. I thought that's what the whole movie was going to be. I had no idea this was going to take any turn where it lead to like dungeons and bunkers and incestual beings, moldy tits. Never expected any of that in this movie. So, but I did enjoy it. I overall did. It was a great movie, and I had a good time with them. By the time it was over, I was like, it's one of the movies that whenever it's over and there's so much thrown at you that whenever the credits come, you're sitting there like, huh. And you just sit there for like 5 minutes just thinking, so, yeah. But yeah, it does make sense, and it's a good movie. It's not for everybody, but yeah, I totally enjoyed it, and I totally recommend that you watch it. I think it is on Prime. I think it could be on Prime or not, but either way, you'll find it. It's on one of the streaming services. That's where I watched it. So it was a while ago I watched it. That's why I can't remember the streaming service. But yeah, so thank you for watching. I wholeheartedly appreciate it, and I appreciate you. And as I said, this weekend I'm going to have two other reviews coming up also. The Watchers, which is currently in theaters, and The Exorcist Believer. I have a lot to say about that. So, yeah, if they interest you, stick around. And yeah, you said, thank you for watching. It means a lot to me. And as always, don't kill anyone.